So, speaking of, North Carolina and family, we've got another guest tonight that is in kind of your neck of the woods. He has been on a couple of television shows. He has written several books that we're going to talk about, as well as these television shows. He's an all-around great guy. Give you the shirt off of his back, even if he doesn't have it, because he wasn't allowed to wear it during one of his shows. So, Hardy, let's bring him on.
All right, I'm going to bring on my great friend, honestly, a brother from another mother, Hakim Intoshi Isler. I'm bringing him.
Hakeem.
Hakim is may have a delay. I do want to apologize to anybody in advance who's watching. We have a storm going on, and if we have a flicker or we lose connection, lose power, my apologies. Hakim, how's the weather down in Fayetteville?
It's getting there.
Yep.
Yeah, we just had that storm come through yesterday, and for us in Florida, it was like everybody was like battening up the hatches and nailing boards into houses, and this thing came by, and I was just grateful I got some water on my lawn. So it was like nothing. And then I looked at the radar. I was like, how long is this? It's gone. And then in a couple hours, it was gone. So my thoughts go out to you guys up there. Hopefully, this won't turn into something that causes too much havoc on you.
Mm. I'm ready.
Yeah. So Hakeem, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. So glad to have you on, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Maintaining, keeping things alive out here. So enjoying myself. So,
Awesome.
That's basically it. And you, I haven't talked to you or seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Things are great. COVID is kind of doing its thing with our lives, so we're kind of having to stay in place and not able to get around as much as we're all kind of used to doing. But pressing forward, watching what you've got going on, with your social media platforms and your initiatives that you have, and we're gonna kind of get into all that as we move forward. So, Hardy, how do you want to begin? Hakeem has such a rich, fascinating backstory, things that he has achieved and accomplished, initiatives that he continuously has going on. Where should we start with this amazing human being?
I think we're going to have a series of shows to encompass all Hakeem has done this week. But why don't, Hakeem, if you've got an opportunity, could you give us the sort of short version in case people don't know, like who you are, where you're from, how you found martial arts, how you wound up in To-Shin, and how you wound up running a school down in Fayetteville? It doesn't have to be the whole biography. I'm sure they can read the about the author section in all your books.
Yeah. So basically, I've been doing martial arts since I was 8 years old. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. Found my way to New Brunswick, New Jersey, and heard about this cool ninja guy in Ohio. And so when I was about 21, 21, I decided to move out to Ohio and train with Mr. Hayes, and did that for couple of years, like 5 years or so, and then joined the Army. Ended up here in North Carolina at Fort Bragg and served here, and then went overseas. Ended up getting out of the military and decided I was going to start a school and be an affiliate, a Quest affiliate, and that's basically that's like the really fast version. so, uh,
At
so
21 years old, you just moved from New Jersey to Ohio.
say that one more time.
I said, at 21 years old, you moved from New Jersey to train with this ninja guy in Ohio.
Yeah. People thought I was crazy because it sounds like a crazy tale, like for a 21-year-old, I was in college, and to come to family members and friends. Actually, I had decided before I was 21, like when I was 20, that I wanted to go, but I had to save up money.
Sure.
So I had to save up a whopping $1,600. This was like a lot of money to me back then.
It's a lot of money now. You kidding me?
Right? So, and then and it took me about a year to save up that money, and then that's when I finally moved and went. But people thought it was a crazy move because, what are you going to do with a ninja degree per se, right? So you should be in school getting a regular degree, not a ninja degree. But it worked out pretty well for me. So that
You
was it.
you opened a dojo, but I think your dojo is something special. Can you tell us a little bit about Elevo Dynamics, how it's set up, what sort of programs you offer, what sets you apart from the run-of-the-mill dojo?
So yeah, one of the things that I have here is over the course of the last 12 years that I've been running the business, I was able to grow a few times. And I end up purchasing a building downtown in the historic district. It's about 10,000 square feet, but we use, right now I'm currently using about 7,000 of it. I have a 24-hour gym in there, and I have a martial arts facility. We do after school program. Our main martial arts is To-Shin, and then we have several other art offer. We offer some of the Southeast Asian martial arts such as Kali and Silat, and we also offer a martial art called Tamui, which is an older version of like a Muay Thai. And so those are some things that we offer to the public, and we really enjoy it. I mean, it's really cool. We call it a dojo, which is a hybrid between a dojo and a gym.
Sure.
And then Elevo Dynamics, Elevo stands for, elevate and evolve. So we took EVO or EV from elevate, and then we added kind of the evolve at the end. And that it's just kind of like this place that people can go to grow and change. You know, they can get challenged, they can get pushed outside their boundaries. And they learn that one of their aspects is by taking care of or being responsible for themselves and really their lives and growing themselves, that in turn has an impact on their greater world. And so, and that's kind of why even in kind of the logo we have, it's a person at Hoko no Kamai, like embracing the perimeter. Yeah. I embrace my perimeter, and that in turn allows me to embrace the greater perimeter. Which is all that I'm in contact with out there in the world and beyond. So
That's
We knew
awesome.
that's a little bit about.
you were mentioning some of those other arts. Can you expand on the Southeast Asian arts that you train in again, and could you let us know how you got involved? What most of our viewers probably are from the To-Shin camp. Could you tell them a little bit about the arts and what you find valuable in those studies?
Yeah, so a personal kind of concept for me is that as I grow, going out and like learning and seeing what other people are doing is very valuable to me. It allows me to stay really rooted in what I'm doing, but then also allows me to improve and to grow, to see, how other people approach different problems, and also find similarities. I've found quite a lot of different similarities in how people approach things and how they talk about things, and that's really given me an opportunity to grow. The Filipino martial arts is really exciting in the sense that it's very flow oriented, it's very drill based. The Silat martial arts is very warfare based, so it has a lot of different aspects about, and history that dives really deep into the battlefield, which I really enjoy. To-Shin is very, for me, is very self-empowering. It talks a lot about who I am as an individual and how that connects to other people. So it's just all these different aspects of me being able to kind of go out there and explore and then add value to my community and add value to my own personal life by meeting other people and by having and gaining knowledge from those people. So
When you were starting with To-Shin, did you already have the experience of these other martial arts, or did they kind of what martial art did you start out with first, and then what evolved from that, and how did you come across these other martial arts to be able to incorporate them into your school?
Oh, that's beautiful. So, like I said, I've been doing martial arts since I was 8. So I started with Karate Do, and then I moved past Karate Do into like Kung Fu. I studied various Kung Fu systems. And then I got into boxing.
Mm.
But because I had already had like the kicking aspect, then boxing just wasn't enough for me. So I progressed to some kickboxing. I did Taekwondo for a little while. And then it was around that time, that I found out about Mr. Hayes. And then I moved to Ohio, and
Okay.
then I pretty much stuck with what I was doing in To-Shin. I also did Kali back in the day, but I only like dabbled in it, but I didn't really get very, very, very deep in it. And when I moved here to Fort Bragg, I had a friend that was doing Kali, and he and I got to talking, and he was like, "Yeah, let's train." And so we trained a little bit, and then that was kind of how it started to progress. And through Kali, I got introduced to Silat, and Silat, sometimes they're closely related. So as I started to do more research about Silat, I found out that that was something that I was really interested in learning because it had such a rich history. And so I delved into that a little bit. And so, for the thing that I've done the longest though is To-Shin,
Mm.
and then Kali is probably the second longest, and then Silat is the third longest thing that I've practiced. So.
How was the experience for you? Because you, within the past couple of years, you achieved master practitioner status, earning your silver belt in To-Shin-Do. What was that transitionary experience like for you to achieve that?
That was difficult. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was. It was difficult in the sense to transition to that because there was a portion of me that was definitely in a space where um, I felt like I physically I was gaining what I wanted to gain out of the martial arts. Like I had already, um, and it was really interesting to recognize that moving on to a fifth degree meant that there was a different aspect that I had to be aware of, and there was a different way I had to approach what it was that I thought I was doing. And so that was
Mm.
really unique for me. That was really cool to see that and to have that experience and to get that different aspect.
Can you put into words what the difference needed to the different aspects that you needed to bring to bear, or the new thing that you needed to learn, or the thing that you had to let go of to reach that silver belt? Do you remember a thing?
Yeah, I think, and as I've listened to like some of your stuff, Hardy, the talks with the masters and things of that nature, I think it's a very common thread of, you have a view of where you think you are, and I think that is the challenge, is where you think you are is what you have to let go of,
Mm.
right? And so it's like, because it's like everybody, when you talk to people who make it past that, everybody's like, yeah, I'm good, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, da da da, da. And then at some point they'll get that belt, and then the conversation becomes, yeah, I was totally in the wrong space. I was in the wrong place in my mind as to the way I was looking at it, and I had to look at it from a different perspective. And I think that really is that greater idea, that greater concept that in order to serve, you have to, like, because it's like the higher element of win. And so win in this thought of service, in order to truly serve, and we learn this in the Army, in order to truly lead, you have to first be able to be led, right?
Mm.
And so in order to truly serve, you have to be able to let go of some things. You have to be able to let go, of where you think things are supposed to happen. And I think right now that actually ties into right now. I think so. I've had a bunch of conversations about how a lot of the chaos that's happening now kind of overflowed with the George Floyd situation. And then you had people saying, I think this and I think that and I think this and I think that. And I think where if you just said, well, what if that was your son, or what if that was your family member? And so if you really want to serve the situation, instead of just pointing the finger and yelling at everybody or saying, you suck and, blah, 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 because you think of it this way, maybe the greater way to serve the greater purpose is to really just let go of that. But that's hard. That's hard as hell. You have your perception of where you think you are and what you think you need to do in life. And, but letting go of that is the ultimate lesson. So I think that fifth degree is really about letting go, in order to letting go of your own view of yourself in order to truly serve the greater good for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this art so personable as well. As you know, as you were saying so eloquently, you do have to let go part of yourself, but you have to have a group around you and a teacher that you trust so emphatically that when they tell you this is what they see that you need to let go of, you have to have so much trust in that because you're literally letting go of something that you feel has served you for so long.
Yeah.
That and you feel like, hey, I'm progressing, and you do your own little internal, you know, um, inventory on what has gotten you to the point that you're at right now, and then someone says, okay, that thing that has really allowed you to get to where you are, that's kind of the thing that's getting in your way now on the next step that you need to take, and you're like, hold on, like what are you talking about? And it's almost, it can be shocking, it can be a little disappointing, it can certainly be aggravating, but those are all things that we generate, right? That get in our way of being able to say, hey, you know what? There might be some validity in this. And to your point, I'm going to let this go. And letting go certainly doesn't mean giving up, right? And this, particularly in the situation you were just talking about. But I do think it is one of the things that makes our art so unique in that, you know, in our Q ranks, and, you know, Hardy certainly chime in here as well. And Hakim, I'd like to know your kind of your thoughts on this too. You know, in our Q ranks, we learn to, there's a lot of stuff skills that you learn. And then as you get higher up in the Don ranks, you realize that those things were only to serve the purpose of learning principle, that now you're wanting to remove as much as possible in your taijutsu, your body movement, to be able to facilitate even more of a dynamic result with doing less. So, what do you guys think about that perspective?
I want to chime in for a second. I have sort of a question for both of you with regards to that. Those folks that sort of reached that level, in large part, probably had some sort of history in athletics or history in some other martial art or something like that, and they come to it with an athleticism, a feeling for that back and forth that can happen in a sparring or again, sort of an athletic contest nature. And then when they get to this level where it's really high, they've got to sort of let go of that. And like you said, become, you know, sort of let go of those preconceived things, let go of those skills that carried them somewhere. Do you think that it's something that to reach a high level in a martial art that's with lofty ideals like To-Shin or even like an Aikido or something like that, that you should have some sort of experience with what a give and take of a conflict feels like? For example, like playing a competitive sport or having some sort of competitive or combat sports background. I know, you know, Hakim, you had Taekwondo and kickboxing and boxing, and Master Bragg, you had some background with karate before you moved in, and you're such a physically gifted individual, you know, coordinated, and you know, I saw you do a front flip off a trampoline last year on the. Is that do you have to sort of have it to get to that point, and then you have to let it go to advance to the next point? I'm just having fun with the conversation.
Yeah, I think I would love to hear Hakim's viewpoint on this.
Okay. Yes. Hardy, to answer your question, I think that I think that there could be a problem if whenever you move too heavy into one aspect. So even right now, like I was saying, there were things that I had to let go, but that doesn't mean to become extreme in the wind element. You get what I'm saying? It's like there's a point where you have to come back to a center, and it's okay to reach out to those those edges or to go and explore, but you also have to have a center. I like the point of the 8 steps to the accomplishment plan, that first point where it says truth is relative, try to see things from others' perspective without losing your own, try to see things as they really are, but stay tuned in. So this idea of being able to have a perspective, but like Scott was saying, try to see things from your teacher's perspective. They're at that stage where they're looking at you from the outside. You're so inside, you can't see that. But if you were able to step outside, that would be great. However, that could also be detrimental. I could be so outside of myself into what other people see and what other people think about me that I forget what me really is. And so there is a balance there. There is a give and take. So there is a place where athleticism is important. There is a place where that back and forth, that force on force training, that real life, let's go out there. And that's one of the things that I've been seeing when I jump around and I train with some of these different circles. People have a different way of doing or looking at things. But then there's also that place of, there's a point where you have to slow all that down and really work on the subtlety and the fine nuances so that you can really take yourself to another level. We are not one-phase human beings or one-phase entities. We are multi-phase entities, living and experiencing in multiple dimensions at the same time. That makes sound like Inception, but like the movie, like I just, but,
Wait,
like,
are we dreaming right now?
red pill or blue pill, you choose.
Am I taking a red pill with a booster, or what's happening right now?
Red pill, blue pill, Kool-Aid in the middle, you choose.
Yeah.
So.